Alright, so we're entering the Boulevard Mall from the east side. This is where the food court is. And it's been 5 years since I've checked this mall out. Apparently it's gone over a lot of renovation since then, so let's see what some of the differences are. Okay, here we're heading inside. So we actually entered from the rear on the east side, being that these stores here, like this store used to be the Sesame Street store. And here's another one of these attractions they built. Heads up. This Poor Boy Comics was actually the Disney store. And now it's a comic book shop, which is interesting. So the whole rear corridor has changed so dramatically. I mean, there's a movie theater here now, the Galaxy Theaters. Of course, the theaters are not open right now. We're in the midst of the pandemic in late July 2020. And as you can see, they've cut through there. I believe this was actually a department store. It was either Dillard's, I believe Dillard's. So that would have been the first floor that connected the two different corridors of the Boulevard Mall, which was once the largest in Nevada, possibly supplanted by the fashion show once they underwent their renovation way back in 2001. They're still making popcorn. You can smell the popcorn at Galaxy Theater, so no movies, I guess, but some snack bar and stuff is open. And we're heading towards what used to be Macy's, and you can see this is just totally blown out. Making way for attractions, family fun centers, an aquarium, Sequest. Sequest interactive area. Oh, look at this fun place. The Rec Center. And Dinosaur Cafe. Which is open. And look at the booths and seating area, which is right out of Jurassic Park, complete with the cable wires. what would be a real shame is if this Goodwill store is closed. It appears that it is, or no, at least this entrance is closed. So this was formerly Macy's or Broadway, and this would have connected. It would have been found at the very, very south end of the mall and connected to the both sides of each corridor on the east and west. So I guess I'll go back where I came from and then cross through what used to be the promenade. All right, and we'll check out what stores are on this side and head back towards the promenade extension and then the original mall itself. So when I was here in 2014, this whole section was just a ghost town. There were no stores left. Some vestiges of the older stores like Wet Seal and B. Dalton Bookseller, Electronics Boutique, Software, etc. We're seen along here, but you can see this is totally transformed into just the primary amusement park attraction area, and the Aquarium, Sequest is on the left-hand side in the Galaxy Theaters and along the right-hand side. So yeah, it's very, very different. It's not really a mall anymore, more like a Universal Studios City Walk, more focused on attractions than any kind of like premium shopping center. See, you can't even cut through here anymore to the other side for the stores. So the only corridor through is where the old promenade extension was. In fact, we'll head down this section here. I believe this actually will connect you to the west side section of the mall, which was a very elongated H shape for the many 30 years that it was open. And there's a picture of it as it appeared, I think, in the 60s. Zoltar machine, straight out of Big. Now this section up here actually used to have some restaurants. Some restaurants like the Panda Inn, the Vineyard, Chin's. Yeah, this was the former entrance. This here is long gone. I believe this was Macy's. Still a Lens Crafters here, which you always find at the mall. Lots of nail salons you see, lots of lash and brow studios, and a barber shop. Now, I think this was the promenade. Yeah, this was the promenade. So this was formerly home to the Sanrio store, you know, where you could get Hello Kitty gear. And the Suncoast Motion Picture Company was along here. Pick up the latest laser disc and such. So, yeah, total overhaul. Yes, queen. That looks like a fun place. Christie's Candy Shop with piñatas. Some sports gear, sports collectibles. Pretzel shop. So yeah, it looks so vastly different than it used to. Alright, let's head on down to the food court. Just judging by the photos online, looks way different. It actually has a lot of advertising up on the rotunda now instead of the famous movie quotes from the golden age of Hollywood that used to be all along the food court. I'm sure a lot of the restaurants have changed as well. So a few stores overlap with the Meadows Mall, like that Shoe Palace over there in Torrid. But some are very unique just to this location. Like that Khan store, K-H-A-N, and Sims. And of course, Hot Topic and Journeys. Oh yeah, this is totally closed up. This was Dillard's. So that whole department store is gone. But this really beautiful rotunda is still here. That's the main entrance. And then of course, that amazing atrium. Hot dog on a stick down there. Let's see if it's open. The one at the Meadows Mall is closed. Yeah, the hot dog on a stick over here is closed still, as you can see. Closed just like the Meadows Mall. Another barber shop. Just cracking, seafood to go. That's new. And we're back by the main entrance. And this was a pet store over here. I don't know what it was prior to closing. A jewelry store, perhaps. Looks like it had a seating and eating area. So, I'm not quite sure. Bath and Body Works is still here, as I mentioned. As you'll notice, all the central kiosks are pretty much closed, probably to limit the interaction with customers. Well, there's one that's open. I mean, this would be hard to recognize for people not familiar, but where this shop was, Players by Gianni, and then the one running just alongside it was actually the location of the two-story Woolworths, which was here from the mall's opening back in the 60s, all the way to like the late 90s. And that's cool. Another toy and collectible shop to go with the comic shop. Massive wall of Funko figures. And you know what's really cool is this thing is totally unrecognizable from what it looked like 25 years ago. But that sign, the Panorama cafes, yeah, that's the exact same sign they had when it opened in 1994. The new food court, which we'll walk around once we come back the other way. Yeah, it looks like the old stores here along this side. Old Navy. It's like Old Navy. Just has the front entrance open, that's all. The rear entrance is closed, but it's open. And a long-time staple of this section, the far north end, was Sears. Sears Home Goods, you know, automotive, all of that. This was actually the entrance we would use most often to come into the mall. So yeah, it's changed quite a bit. That's where I like to park, right there. I thought that's where I was today, but I was way down by where the former Disney store was. Had no idea. So yeah, don't let it fool you. This mall is still very large. It just doesn't have nearly as much concentrated retail stores as it used to. Alright, I guess I'm going to finish things up here and just go through the food court and get some footage heading back the other direction. You know, still a pretty massive one-story complex, the classic H shape, so it takes some mileage to get around, but I hope we got a good look at things today. And here's like the third hat shop, another Lids. So let's check out the food court as we finish up. See that along the top? It's just signage for the other stores here. Hot Topic, Old Navy. So any kind of theme it used to have, like old Hollywood, totally gone. So you get a better look at this frontage here. Foot Locker and what used to be the Woolworths. And this looked like a great place, but it's closed. Castle of Cakes. Looks like it was a former Mrs. Fields Cookies. If it wasn't 120 degrees, I definitely would be chowing down on a cake right now. Yeah, I don't remember much was in the way on this side, but I know the last warehouse and then a FYE record store was over here. Well, I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope you enjoyed the tour of the old boulevard. Looks so different now. Signing off. Yeah, see right over there, that was the Sesame Street. And then it was either a Brookstone or a Sharper Image for a very short stretch. Now it's an LV Puppet Studio and Heads Up. And that's just surprising, like, to see a Disney store just bail out. And it's now a comic shop. Which would have been awesome back in 1994 to have a comic store here. But that's how the times have changed. Alright, going back out the rear entrance. Finishing our trip at the boulevard.